Hello viewers, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my channel Ismail Hossain Fahad. So in this video I going to talk about the Active Directory domain service in the Windows Server system. In my previous video I talk about the how to install and set up the Windows Server so in the virtual machine. So now in this video basically it is second class of about my Windows Server series. So no further delay. At first I open my virtual machine. So I open my virtual machine VM or workstation. So here my server, you can see Windows Server 16. So I hit on the power or open it. Okay, so and I view it the full screen. So it is takes some time for opening, so please don't worry and take the time your computer.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways.
So my computer is now turned on. So I paste here it show the page, guys, you can see place control alt and delete. So now I basically using my virtual machine, so my physical keyboard cannot work here in this stage, so I face control alt delete in my virtual machine. So here you can see this key basically control alt delete key. So I face here and my computer may be going to open. So okay, now I give my password. Yes. Okay, it's preparing Windows and this take time for opening. Okay, my virtual machine is going to open, so you can see. So here my Windows Server 16 interface, opening interface. So okay, view the full screen. It is the full screen mode. Okay, but it is not good look. That's why my see the half this type of stage. Okay, so now I open. It takes some time for loading. So wait, please don't hurry. So okay. So this is the main menu of the Windows Server. Here you can see Windows Server, Windows PowerShell, Windows Administration Task Manager, Control Panel, and each text. So I open my Windows Server Manager. It is loading. My server is still loading. So now I can talk about the interface of the user interface of the server. So we started here. This is the dashboard. In dashboard we can see the quick start, what's new, more, learn more, and here is the you in this interface you can work easily, write for your server like add roles and features, add another server to manager, create server group instruction. This type of work you can do in the manager. It is the main procedure of the work, but if you try to if you like to do it easily for short time, it is you can use this type of option. Here we go. When you scroll down, we can see our main function of the server, which we can install or automatically installed. Okay, so then we talk about here. This is my server. On the server, this dashboard, which I can select from here. Then it is the loading part. It is the slow loading or replacing. In this way, you can replace your server. Then this flag is basically notification panel. Then it is manager key, has has the four or five function like add roles and features. This is work for the install a new features or new software in your server. Then role and remove roles and features is work for the you can try to remove your any features like here local server is a features of my server. When I like to remove it, I paste here. Okay. When I like to new features, roles and feature here, then next. So guys, this is I talk about the next. Now we talk about the main function. So now next function is tool. Tools is our installed software or feature. Is type of the menu bar in your computer or mobile. We have this is one type of menu bar here for your Windows server. This is the basically it is the same thing tools. Then we can see the view is our how close or how near or how far we see our server. This is basically this type of thing, zoom in zoom out. So we work using the standard size 100 or 125. 125 is look large. We using our standard 100. Okay, then view part is done. Now help is the most useful thing in Windows server for your learning. If you cannot understand anything else, you can just click here or write here. Then it is instruct. It is help you about what type. It is help you. Okay. So my net connection cannot be done here, so that's why it is coming. Okay. When my net fitting is done, the this cannot coming. Okay. Then our dashboard part is all right. I hope already done. You can understand. Then we go to our local server. Local server is the basically main server of your computer. So we can see our computer interface local server in something. You can see advanced computer name, work group, computer firewall, computer remote management. This type of stage in your server you can see. Then this part we can see the last update time. Then time, everything time, and your hardware size, your install memory, total disk space, everything you can see here. So at first I go to in the time section and change the standard time, change the time zone, because here I give the standard time. We see the time zone is US or Canada, but I set my local time zone. It's Bangladesh, Dhaka. So I find out Dhaka for standard for my zone area here. Okay, Dhaka. Okay, I press OK and OK. Then I replace it. And guys, Dhaka is set. Okay. Then I need to set up the we need to set up here need to set up the computer network. Here computer network option. So here my computer Ethernet card setting. Okay, so at first I see the properties of the network. So here at first I check at first I off the IP version 6 here from computer protocol version 6. I uncheck it and press OK. So viewers, then I again open now details and IP version 6, nothing else here. So I close it and again I open, go to the properties and open the IP version 4. In this stage here is the two type of computer network IP you can see it here. So at first I give here the give here the static IP. So I using here 90. I use here 92 160 0 2. Okay. Then I subnet already automatically coming. So then I using here the default gateway. So my default gateway I using the in this option you can use your any type of IP. It is not mandatory. This one you can use. So here I using my IP for my server is 192.168.0.2. It's for my IP address and my default gateway I using that one. Everything same, but I using as a gateway one and as a IP is 2. Okay, then I need to use here additional DNS address. So here I using the Google DNS. Google DNS is 888 and 8. Okay, so I press here okay. Okay, let's take some time. So I close it and checking my IP working or not working. So I now again I paste the replace and my guys you can see my Ethernet card IP is showing here. That means my IP is working. This type of work you can use it. So using the also using by using the command can I can see you here. So you can press use subscription CMD CMD. Okay, then open this option. You can write here MCSA.cpl. Okay, it takes some time and we don't. So guys, you can see the same Ethernet card option is coming here for your server settings. So I close it because my already networking part work is done. So then I go to network firewall. So here the overall firewall is protected, but I now try to open it, but because if firewall is the type of the wall or type of the kind of protection for your computer network safety or network transfer. If your firewall is on, any type of network, any type of communication cannot done in your computer because when you send any data or any message in your computer server, but when firewall is on, this message cannot come to server because you already protected your server by firewall. So I off the firewall for proper communication. Okay, I and it's okay. Okay, so I close it. So my work, this type of work is done. If you like to change your PC name, you can do it. So computer description name, if you want to change, so your computer name. I think I Fahad ISF Ismail ISF ISF / server. Okay, I like to give my server name. PC name is his. Okay, I think it's can. Okay, my PC name is already changed. So I need to restart my server because this type of setting is already done here. So I click on the restart now and waiting for my
And on we'll finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go.
to the local server. Yeah, my local server is, guys, look at the here. Here my computer name is already changed. And now my running computer name is ISF server work group. Now I cannot connect any domain controller. That's why it is show the work group. Then power wall is off. It's off here. And my Ethernet card network IP is 192.168.0.2. Then my other things is my time zone is dark. I did so guys, this is the main basically the free we work for install any features or server features in your server. So now I go to my main part and now I install the Active Directory domain service in my server for work. It is a domain controller. So we can go to dashboard. You can click here for the install server or we can go. So guys, for our learning purpose we go to our proper way. We cannot use any shortcut. So at first we go to manage and click on to add roles and features. Okay, so then we can see that this type of interface in our computer screen. So before you begin, this type of instruction show here in your server administration. You can please you read it, and there is some instruction like your administration password is has the strong password দিতে হবে এখানে, then strong password, network setting, IP address config, and you must be current, must current security is this computer installed. So this has said the which type of this this statement we already done in our previous time. So then we can paste the next install the type. So here two type you can see the role based install and remote desktop service. So we can using the role based. We paste the first option and paste the next. Okay, server section. We have only one server. My server name already you can see Ismail ISF server and my IP address is which IP address you can I give some time ago. So I can paste next. Here, here you can see which features like to install in my server. So I can select an active domain director domain service. Okay, and I using Dhcp DNS ever this type of work we done in another video, and I using Hyper-V. Hyper-V cannot support my computer, no problem. I will also select DNS domain name service and then press next. Before you check here this type two features active directory domain service and DNS server. Okay, and press next. Now nothing to doing here and press also next. Here is active directory domain service. This is the statement, DNS server statement and confirmation. Here you can see the restart designations are automatically if required. Okay, if you select here, your computer will automatically restart. I cannot select here. I restart my computer manually and I press install and waiting for installing. So guys, stay connected. Please connecting and please wait for install our server. Okay, it takes some time about it depend on your computer configuration. If your computer configuration is high, this takes few minutes. Your computer configuration. So guys, now this processing time, I like to share your information about some information about Active Directory domain service. Basically, Active Directory domain service is the core function of the Active Directory to manage users and computers and allow the admin to organize the data into the logical inheritance. Active Directory domain service provide the security certification and single sign-on and LDAP and the rights management. So then now I to understanding Active Directory domain service is the top priority for the incident response IR and cyber security penetration. So because the all server attack will attack on Active Directory, so so you need to know what to look for the how and how to respond to attack when it's happened. Okay, so our next point now I talk about the benefits of the Active Directory domain service. But at first it is basically defense of four things. It like customize, manage, provide, and certificates. So now I talk about by one points. First point is the manage. You your active domain directory domain service. You can manage how your data is organized to meet your company's needed. And then our then next benefit is you can manage active directory domain service from any computer network if you necessary. So and then the main important point of the Active Directory Domain Service is Active Directory ADDS provide built-in the replication and redundancy if one domain controller is fail, another domain controller pick your load. And next and main most important benefit is the all access to network resource go through the Active Directory domain service, which can keep network access right to manage the centralized. Okay, so now active domain. This is the type of benefits of Active Directory domain service, guys. Like we can see, our installation of Active Directory domain service is already done. Our computer is restart automatically, so it is restarting. So it is take some time for a restart again. So please connect with us, viewers. We can see that our Active Directory computer is restarting now because our computer means our server is restarted now because our new Active Directory domain service is up already installed. Now we press the Control Alt Delete to we give our password of administrator. So administrator. So I type my password. So it's and preparing and welcoming. So sometime need load. So our server is now open and it is loading. So now I go to the local server and check the notification. Notification show the for configure our Active Directory domain service. So now I go to post deployment configuration. So here there are the three types of configure declaration, three types of the things like one forest, then domain and routes. So I we configure the three things when you have have a forest and domain, you select the first one. When you have a forest but not domain, you select the second one. If you have nothing, you can select the forest. So I have nothing, the domain or anything. So I created forest. I save my forest name is ISF. It means Melosan Fahad, my channel name. So it's I type it is Melosan Fahad ISF. Or ISF it is loading. It takes some time for checking the name. So it's checking my name and if this name is available for servers now. It is I need to give now. So now the server is searching the domain name, and now we need to give a password in our server for server logging. So we give a unique password for logging. I give my unique password and retype the password for confirmation. So, so I give my password and give enter. Give next, and then I search the net bios domain name. It's net. So net bios show my domain name ISF. So my domain name is confirmed. So I give next. So computer show me the my file information, sysbold and TDS and everything. So now it show the summary of the server. So server or active directory is summary. My information is here. My domain controller name is ISF. My forest label is Windows Server 2016. Domain function label is Windows Server 2016 additional option. Global category is yes server, Windows Server, DNS server is yes, get DNS designation no, and my file location. Okay, so now I click on next and show waiting for the propagation check. It is very important for the for your active directory activation or installation. It is checking your FB information. If your FB injection is the okay, your server is installed properly and computer take the automatic restart. Basically, it is take many times. So guys, stay tuning for installation. So please wait. And now I like to talk about very important things about server, which is server benefit. So guys, here my propagation check is already done. It is everything okay. Now I paste an install. So my every information is okay. Everything okay. So it is passed successfully. Propagation passed successfully. So now I click on install and it is installation is starting. It takes few minutes for installation. So guys, don't don't hurry. Please taking some time. Give some time in your computer. So after the installation, the computer after the when my installation process is done, my computer take auto restart. And restart. So I am waiting for installation. It takes few minutes. I hope it is almost done. So awaiting some another some time for installation. So guys, stay tuning. Don't be hurry. So guys, my installation process is complete. So my computer now need to restart. So I press for restarting it. I close my server and it's automatically restarted. So guys, I give some time for server for restarting. Now I in this time I'd like to talk about the service are for which service are for by Active Directory domain service. Here are the service at Active Directory domain service provided the core functional required by the centralized user management system. Like domain service. Basically, domain service is the storage restore data and manage the communication between the users and the domain controller. This is the primary function of the Active Directory domain service. Certified service allows the domain controller to serve the digital certification signature and the public key cryptography and extensions. Then the lightweight directory service, it supports the is short form known as the LDAP, means lightweight directory service. So for the cost from domain service like the any Linux computer in network domain federation service, it is provide the SSO authentication. SSO means I talked before. SSO means basically single sign on single sign-on authentication for your multiple application in the same session. So user do not have the key if the providing same criteria. So basically it means the when a user use this server, they don't need to logging one more time. Only one time is enough for the computer user. So then next things is rights management. Rights management is the controlling information rights or data process for policy. For example, right management determine if you can access the folder or send the email. It basically means the which type of work or your client or your client user can do in your server. Which type of rights to doing your computer your user. Uh, users. So basically, this is the provide service of the Active Directory domain service. So now I go to talk about the role domain controller with the Active Directory domain service. Basically, which type of work or which type of role play the domain controller in a server. So now I like to discuss about it. Domain controller are the best are the server in your network that host Active Directory domain service. Domain controller are respond to authentication request and store the configured directory domain service data. Domain controllers host another service at that are the competently confidently to the Active Directory domain service as well. Those are KDC. The KDC means KDC verification or encryption ticket that are Active Directory domain service for authentication. Netlogon is the authentication communication service. Windows time Windows time is Windows Netlogon and KDC require all computer of the users which can using in your server. Intersite messaging. The intersite messaging allows the domain controller to communicate with each for the replication of the site routing. The directory must have at least one domain controller. The domain controller are the chart container for the domain. The domain part of the active directory forest which can be included one or more domain organization in the organization unit. Active Directory service manage the trust between the multiple domain. You can provide the access right to user on the domain others forest. So most important concept understanding that Active Directory domain service is a framework for the domain management and computer users to use the access of Active Directory in the DC. So guys, and my computer restart process is done. So I restart my computer and give password. Guys, you can see my domain already show in my administration. So now I logging in my domain for as a domain controller. So now I give my password. Which can I give set up on my Active Directory domain service installation. So I give my this password and please wait for is it already ready. So guys, You can see that my user applying user settings. My domain is fast. That is first time. That's why computer needs some time extra for install it and set up. So guys, please wait. And I is already done. So computer takes time for the ready. Guys, my active domain controller is ready now. So now I like to open my server. My server is opening. So viewers, my server is open now. So I go to my server. This takes some time for ready. So now I go to local server. At first I replace it and go to local server, and now we can see the Active Directory and ADDS is already added. And now see at my compu computer domain name here, my control isf.com is already shown. So now I go to the settings and role add another features like. So now my I so now I go to the logging logging with the next role based installation. And so guys, I minimize it and go to the so server, and I select DHCP server for network configuration. So I select DHCP and complete server is loading. Okay, now I click on add roles and click on next. So and again I click on next, and everything my summary is show here. So now I select the next for install it. So it takes some time for computer. So guys, stay tuning. Okay, it shows that a computer when is complete, my computer is install or is not install. So guys, basically now I talk about the Active Directory domain service. So Active Directory domain service is already installed, and now I like to talk about the DHCP. DHCP means the dynamic host configuration protocol. It is basically the network protocol. So the dynamic host configuration protocol is network management protocol used on internet protocol networker for automatically assign IP address and other communication parameter to device connect to network using the current server architecture. The technology eliminated the need for the individually configuring the network device manually, and the consists two network component are the correct centralized install network DHCP server and client instance of the protocol stack on each computer or device. When connecting to the network, and the physically, therefore a client request of set of parameter for the DHCP server using the DHCP protocol. DHCP can be implemented on the network ranging in the size from the residential network to the large campus network and the regional ISP networks. Many router and re- 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 residential gateways have DHCP server capability. Most residential network router receive a unique IP address within the ISP network. Within a local network, a DHCP server assign a local IP address to uh, each device. DHCP service exists for the network running Internet Protocol IP version 4 as well as IP version 6. IP version 6 of the DHCP protocol are commonly known as DHCP version 6. So guys, and my DHCP configuration already done. So now this is interface. So I need to restart my computer. So I am going to restart it. So I press on restart my computer. So guys, my server is again restarting. So now I talk about an overview of the DHCP server. So basically Internet Protocol IP defines how device commonly communicate within and across local network on the internet. A DHCP server can manage the IP settings for the net for devices on its local network, assign IP address to those devices automatically and dynamically. DHCP operated based on the client server model. When a computer or another device connect to a network, the DHCP server software sends the DHCP broadcast query request to the necessary information. Any DHCP server on the network may serve service in the request. The DHCP server manages a full of IP address and information about the client configuration parameters such as default gateway, domain name, domain server, and name server. On receiving a DHCP request, the DHCP server may respond with the specific information for the client as providedly configured by an administrator or with a specific net address and any other information valid for the entire network for the time period which allocated valid. A DHCP client typically queries for information immediately booting booting or periodically thereafter before the expiration of the information. When DHCP client replaces a assignment 8 initially request some parameter values, but the DHCP server may assign a new address based on the assignment policy by the administrator. So guys, my server now restarting again. So I again give time for applying the service settings. So settings are talking now and I back my topics in DHCP. So it's about DHCP on the large network that consists of multiple links. A single DHCP server may serve the entire network when added by the DHCP relay agent located on the intercommunicating router. Such agent relay messages between DHCP client and DHCP server located on different subnets. Depending or implementation, the DHCP server may have the three method of allocating IP addresses. So there are the main allocated method is first one is dynamic allocation, then second one is automatic allocation and manual allocation. So now I talk about the dynamic allocation. So basically, dynamic allocation is the network administrator reserve a range of IP address for DHCP server, and each DHCP client on the LAN configured to request the IP address from the DHCP server during the network installation. The request and the granted process user as least the concept with the controllable time period, allocating the DHCP server to reclaim the and then the reallocate the IP address that are not renewed. Okay, so now I move on the automatic allocation. The DHCP server permanently assign on the IP address to requesting client from a range of defined by the administrator. This is like a dynamic allocation, but the DHCP server keep the table of past IP address assignment assignment that is the partition assigned to the client to the same IP address that is the client provide the held. So guys, so we can see now, and I back to the my server. My server is now signing. So now before I talk about the overview and about many things about the DHCP. So now move on the real server configuration. So I I open my local server and I move on the how to configure the DHCP server. Okay. So guys, now you can see that the description next authentication, uh, authentication and next. Okay, everything server summary is okay. So now I move on. So now I configure the now I configure the DHCP server. Now I go to at first I go to the go to for replace my server. Now I go to the DHCP, click on DHCP server for checking. This is DHCP connect on my domain controller. Now I give open the DHCP and please wait. So guys, my DHCP configure is interface is Windows is open. So you can which you can see now. I click on my domain name. I had two things, IP version 4 and IP version 6. Now I configure IP version 4. IP version 4. So I click on IP version 4 and create a new scope. So add a scope. I click on add a scope. I right clone like right. I paste my mouse pointer and right click, and I paste on the create a new scope. And guys, my new scope widget is opening. Okay, welcome to new scope widget and paste next. And next after next, now I need to give a name of my scope. So I give here I my scope. So I give my scope name is ISF DHCP for easy to understand. And then second line is the description. Here you would like to read or any message down. Now it's the range of network or IP which can you using. So I give here my starting IP one. So my one 192 168.0.2 0 and paste 10. My range, my starting range and my closing range is 192, 184, 0, 84, 0 and 200 and 210. Basically I using the 200 IP and length is 24, nothing to do, submit is automatically generated, then I press next. For exclusion or delay, basically it means the which type of which IP I cannot like to use, or which IP I like to avoid or refuse. So I prepare the serial number of the IP range. So I paste on starting path. So I paste here the 190 from my given IP range. I paste here 192, 186, 0 and 190 to 200. That's the range. So I type here 0 and my last digits. So and add. Now I paste on, need to paste on add. I add here and okay. Here my math is okay. Nothing to do here and paste the next. Okay. Now it is the time period for lease directories. Now is the time period. How much time I lease for my IP pool. So I paste here 8 days. Okay, and then paste next. Okay. Then here the configure the DHCP option. Yes, here I select the yes. I want to configure those option now. Okay. So here the router default gateway. So I now I specify one IP address for my router configuration and edit the full and paste the next. Then here I show my parent domain controller name. My domain controller is already known as Ismail ISF domain controller. Okay, I paste here and paste next. Here nothing to do and just paste on next. And so guys, you can see my my IP scope is already ready. So you can see that. Okay, address pool. Okay, my address pool is here, starting IP and close IP. Which IP I like to don't use. All information is shown here. My starting IP and closing IP. So, so guys, you can see my already DHCP configuration is already done. You can see that. So I back on that interface. I minimize it and back to the main server. So now I close my server. So guys, this video is start today class is already done. No more today. Please connect with us and please you can see my video one and more time for the learning purpose. And please stay with us and please do subscribe my channel, like, comment, and give feedback your opinion. And so no more today. Everyone be happy and keep learning. Thank you guys. Goodbye. And so that's all for today. I close my server. Okay. Thank you everyone for stay with me. Thank you.
close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.